No, that's very good. And you mentioned the spider and the fly, which is very important to also practicing it in meditation, but then making every moment your meditation. And because that's what that's really about. And that's what meditation is about. It's not just sitting down and for a couple hours or whatever, 10 minutes. It's making meditation your every moment. And sounds like you're doing that. And that's where this is going, really, to just be aware, mindful, and when something comes into the mind net, the spider being centered goes into the mind net, is aware of the spider totally and does what spiders do, but in this case we're just aware of the things that come in. It's a mindfulness type thing. Something comes in, whether it's an irritation or not, because it can be your teacher then if it is an irritation. And so you still go out and meet it, and with awareness you experience it fully, and then that gap heals. Remember I talked about how it starts out, the stress and not recovering from stress, and like when you're an infant even it starts, and something's not right, and you cry or you whatever infants do, and that's like a tear in the fabric of your being, and infants don't have the wherewithal to experience that tear fully, maybe until mommy comes back and you're all happy and one with everything again, one with mommy, and but that tear is a hole, and when there's a hole there, your mind wants to make up something to fill that hole, to fill that tear. And that's the start of the problem. That's the start of how we come attached to thinking or experiencing what the mind makes up is real. Because the mind makes up something to fill that tear when you don't experience it fully, so that tear naturally becomes one again, becomes whole. And maybe that's where when you go like that, it's make it one again, fill that tear. And then people are continually stressed by different things and not recovering from it, that tear continually needs to be filled by what the mind makes up then, because that's what you're used to. That's how you're operating now. So, and then that becomes a basis for your life, is not experiencing things fully and making up something in your mind to try to make it okay. It's very natural, and that's what we do as humans. And so over the many years then of making up something in your mind, that's the start of illusion, because we begin to believe that what the mind has made up is real. And what the mind has made up is made up. It's awareness of the tears and getting them back together, becoming whole again. That's what we want to do. And so that's why the tears in the fabric of your being, and that spider and the fly meditation that's on some of my earlier videos, that's why that's so important, to make every moment you just be more aware and more aware and more aware, and that awareness is strength. So somebody, to get back to your question, so somebody that does not want to become strong and experience in these things, well, that's fine, but sooner or later they'll realize that they're living and believing that what their mind makes up is true and real. And maybe that's not the case, you know, but, so what were you writing down? I saw you writing down something just now.
Basically, I was putting it in my own words
Good.
that a tear is being filled with something by the mind,
Made up by the mind.
um, where you're starting at the source and it becomes duality instead of repairing from the stress.
Duality
Because of
is
that,
that tear.
Yeah.
And healing, that word healing means becoming whole again. And the word therapy means healing. And healing means becoming whole again. So I like that. The Japanese call this agashu. And when people pray, they go like this. And to me, that's become a symbol of healing and becoming whole. So in India, when they go like this with their hands together and bow down to you and say namaste, namaste, and that means I bow down to the divine in you, because the divine in you and the divine in me are one. Because that's what the divine is, non-duality or oneness. So we could go on and on. Do you have any more question right